Let's update you now on COVID-19. Our state reporting more than 3,600 new cases today, but the big story, the rising number of hospitalizations.
That's right. The hospitals tell us right now they're treating more patients than they've seen in months. More than 1,900 Hoosiers right now in the hospital with a positive diagnosis with COVID-19.
And that's twice as many as the number we saw just 3 weeks ago, not to mention the highest hospitalization rate since late January.
We want to make sure you're aware that Franciscan Health now is changing location and the process for their drive-through COVID testing, and they're doing so starting tomorrow. You'll have to stop by the south side of the campus off of Emerson Avenue. That's near the Health Cancer Center. Testing now appointment only. It's separated between symptomatic patients and those scheduled for pre-procedural treatments. That means if you need to go get a test before you have surgery, you're going to be separated from that group. There are differing hours Monday through Saturday. Testing now is closed on all Sundays.
IPS has been adding more nurses and support staff to handle health issues during the pandemic. The superintendent of IPS didn't have specific numbers for us, but said that the district has contracted with a private company to make sure they have enough staff. So far, IPS has spent about $25 million from the Federal CARES Act on extra staffing, along with raises for teachers who taught summer school this year.
Also today, the head of IPS schools says that her district needs more money to pay for special ed programs, and she says a lot more money.
Yeah, in fact, there's actually an $18 million funding gap right now when it comes to special ed and English language learning. So the superintendent says they're now using money from the district's general fund to make up for it.
But that's not a long-term fix. So now Alicia Johnson wants state lawmakers to rethink the funding formula, especially for districts like hers, large and urban.
Our job is to make sure we're using those dollars as effectively and impactfully as possible to support students in learning. That's our job to play. But they have a role to play as well in thinking about what's the philosophy that underlies the way in which they fund schools.
So there's a lot of issues here, and the school board will be getting a financial update on the district's finances at its meeting tonight.